Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Today is Friday, the 5th of August. Our sun sign is still in Leo. Leo's a fire sign represented by the tarot card of strength, and our moon is just like yesterday in the sign of Virgo, represented by the Hermit. Two lessons we're learning here. The conscious mind wants to express its creativity, but the important thing with Leo is we have this creative nature within us, but we need to tame it. We need to use our imagination. Okay? The Hermit, Virgo, wants us to be patient, wants us to understand that everything works in a sense of timing, and that each and every one of us has the ability to be a teacher. And so as a teacher, we hold the lantern high for others to see so that they may learn from it as well. The aspects we're looking at for the course of today are right over here. We just passed Pluto going into trine with the moon sign here of Virgo. So Pluto is deep transformation. So we've got some deep transformation in the way we're looking at things, in our ability to be patient, in our ability to understand the lessons of timing. Okay, so deep transformation occurs from Pluto in whatever this aspect is. So it's something nice and positive that we're experiencing now as we continue to move forward over this day while we're feeling the effects of this aspect. 10:27 a.m. Venus brings some imagination and creativity into the mix with Virgo. And then later this evening, 10:20 p.m., Jupiter is going to be in conjunction with Virgo. It's like they're in the same room together having a conversation, and Jupiter's saying now it's time to expand. It's time to become more of who and what we are so that we can be more effective in the world. So that's what Jupiter is all about there. Over the course of the weekend, we have a change in our moon sign. It goes from Virgo to Libra, okay, where it's going to be for the weekend. And Libra is an air sign represented by the tarot card of justice. The whole idea is about karmic balance, or balancing out the things in our life, learning how to do and say the things that help us and to avoid doing and saying the things that hurt us. So it's very important. So that over the course of the weekend, we're going to be feeling the need to want to put some balance in our life, some balance in our life in the unconscious realms, while bringing that forth into the conscious realms to assist us in all that we are doing. All right. So that is the astrology. Looking at the moon today, we're 8.1% of the way, making our way up to the full moon. We're going to be there on the 18th. On the Jewish calendar, we've just begun another month. This is the month of Av, A-V. And the daily thought for today is meditation on a scolding. Before you scold a child, stop and think of who this is and where you stand. This is a child of the creator of the universe, and you stand before him scolding his child. And then finally, space weather. Solar wind currently is up 646.4 kilometers per second. Planetary K index unsettled in the area of 4. Now we have, looks like the same image from yesterday, because I can't imagine that this object would still be here a couple days in a row, because if that's the case, then, well, the moon's not moving and things are not as they say they are. And finally, geomagnetics, or M-class flare possibilities 1%, X-class 1%. Geomagnetic storm activity slightly decreasing 30 down to 20% in the mid-latitudes, upper latitudes decreasing as well, dropping down from 40 down to 25%. All right, so that's what's going on. And again, there's Spock over the flat Earth disk. Just imagine if you're looking down, this is a quarter, and you're raised up. This is the edge of the quarter. This isn't the round Earth, like you're not looking at the Earth here, and you're not seeing the edge. You're seeing the periphery of your vision, of our vision, as we're able to see in that picture there. Okay, so there you go. That's our cosmic weather. That's the energy, what's taking place at the moment. That brings us up to the UFO news. Here we go.
This is the UFO news with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you again. Here we are for today's stories, 4 of them. Story number 1, this has to do with a object up near the sun. This took place on the 4th. I found this cube near our sun yesterday. It was not near the sun, but actually pulling a part of the sun out to it, sucking the surface into the cube. This may not be an occupied ship, but actually a massive drone that is the size of Earth itself. I've been carefully monitoring this cube for over 5 years and was the first to report on it. It's still coming about every 2 to 3 months. It's like following a cycle of rotation. But then again, there may be thousands of these in our solar system, and they may use the solar material to recharge the ship. Also, it is possible the cube is a space battery of sorts that recharges the sun and carries it off to the alien civilization that created it. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So we've all seen this before, the old cube, and whatever's going on there is quite bizarre. Moving from here, next story is next story of a clear triangle UFO craft videoed over Virginia. This is an unedited witness statement. UFO triangle seen by myself and my mother around 8:35 p.m. July 24th. Our object in question says it doesn't exist officially. It uses highly pressurized mercury accelerated by nuclear energy to produce a plasma that creates a field of anti-gravity around the ship. Conventional thrusters located on the tips of the craft allow it to perform all manners of rapid high-speed maneuvers. Interesting, the plasma generated also reduces radar signature significantly, so it'll be almost invisible to radar. All right, so very interesting. Another good sighting. And finally, one more story here, UFO related. Once again, Hitler and UFOs with Brad and Sherry Steiger over at UFO Digest. Iron Sky centers on, let me back up here. In 2012, Iron Sky, a Finnish sci-fi film about Nazi development of flying discs, reignited a debate in Germany about Hitler's development of UFOs. Okay. And Iron Sky centers on the real-life SS officer Hans Kimmler, who is said to have made significant breakthrough in the anti-gravity experiments toward the end of World War II. The film relates how, from a secret base in the Antarctic, the first Nazi spaceships were landed in 1945 to build a military base named Schwarze Sonne, or Black Sun, on the moon. This base was used to build a powerful invasion fleet and return to Earth in 2018. According to reports published in the German magazine PM, there was strong evidence that the Nazi UFO program was well advanced, based on alien saucer that had crashed in Italy. The PM report quotes eyewitnesses who state that they saw a flying saucer marked with an iron cross insignia flying low over the Thames in 1944. Other eyewitnesses claimed that they saw a flying saucer-type craft produced in Prague in 1945 actually become airborne. Records state that the best known of the Nazi UFO projects was the Schweiger-Habermal scheme, named for Rudolf Schreiber and Otto Habermal. According to the PM magazine, Joseph Andreas Epp, an engineer, said 15 disc prototypes were built in all, with the central cockpit surrounded by a rotating, adjustable wing vanes forming a circle. The pitch of the vanes could be adjusted so that during takeoff, more lift is generated by increasing their angle from a more horizontal setting. In level flight, the angle would be adjusted for a smaller angle, similar to the way helicopter rotors operate. The wing vanes were to be set in rotation by small rockets piloted around the rims like a pinwheel. Once the rotational speed was sufficient, liftoff was achieved. All right, now we get into talking about some of the various energies that they were studying and the esoteric sciences that were there. It's a nice, good, long article. Lots of good information here, but I'm going to leave that for you to read. Something to do over the weekend. All right, and there you go. That's our UFO news for today. I'll be right back. We shall continue on. Stay tuned.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of them.
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. Jimmy Carter saw UFO. Answers to secrets you need to know. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. The evidence is overwhelming. Step past your fear, take a look. Illuminati lies keep growing, but they're illusion from your eyes. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What would our founding fathers say if they were alive today? Must be turning in their graves. Redcoats are coming, Big Brother's watching. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What if I land and two if I see? And I and the opposite shore will be ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and farm. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. When a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
All right. Welcome back. So let us continue on. Let us continue on. So let me get a few stories here before I jump into some other things. All right. So we've heard the whole situation about the 400 million, this deal to the Iranians, and of course Obama said this was not a ransom. However, here's an article that states otherwise. This article is written, it's over at Breitbart, and what we have here says on Thursday's broadcast of Fox Business Network, the intelligence report with Trish Reagan, Saeed Abedini, one of the four hostages released from Iran back in January, stated that on the night that he was freed, his captors told him that they were waiting on another plane to arrive before letting him go. Abedini said, I just remember that night that we had been at an airport just hours and hours there. I asked one of the police that was with us that why are you not letting us go to that plane? And he told us that we were waiting for another plane. If that plane takes off, then we are going to let you go. So he told us that you're going to be for 20 minutes, but it took hours. We slept at the airport, and when I asked then why you don't let us go, because the plane was there, pilot was there, everyone was ready to go. They said they were waiting for another plane, and until that plane doesn't come, we never let you go. Abedini was then asked, were you effectively waiting for the money to come in before they let you take off? He answered, yeah. They didn't talk about money. They just told us about they told me about the plane. So the reason that they said they were here at the airport is they were waiting for another plane. Abedini was also asked if he believed the ransom was paid, to which he stated he was grateful for his freedom, but that there are others still left behind in Iran. Okay, so look, is it really any surprise that Obama lied again? Really not surprising at all. All right, let me throw this out there because yesterday was the fake birthday of the fake president. I mean, he's really the president, but he's a fake person, fake something. And here's an article up over at WND. We'll about this. Let us not forget what happened and what is going on out there. Arpaio, probable cause for Obama certificate fraud. An investigative cold case posse launched 6 months ago by America's toughest sheriff, Joe Arpaio of Arizona's Maricopa County, concluded that there is probable cause that the document released by the White House last year as the president's birth certificate is a computer-generated forgery. The investigative team asked Arpaio, who is at the news conference in Phoenix, to elevate the investigation to a criminal probe, that he will make available the resources of the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. The posse said it was identified at least one person of interest in the alleged forgery of Obama's birth certificate. Okay, and so they live streamed this event. Mike Zullo is the lead investigator. He said his team believes the Hawaii Department of Health is engaged in a systematic effort to hide from the public inspection any original 1961 birth records it may have had in its possession. Said officials of the Hawaii Department of Health and various elected Hawaiian public officials may have intentionally obscured 1961 birth records and procedures to avoid having to release to public inspection and the examination of the court-authorized forensic examiners any original Obama 1961 birth records at the Hawaii Department of Health. The investigators say the evidence contained the computer-generated PDF for the White House, released by the White House, as well as the important deficiencies in the Hawaii process of certifying long-form birth certificates. The investigation was launched after 250 members of the surprise Arizona Tea Party presented a signed petition to Arpaio in August 2011 asking him to undertake the investigation. Tea Party members were petitioned under the premise that if a forged birth certificate was used to place Barack Obama in the 2012 Arizona presidential ballot, their rights as Maricopa County voters could be compromised. So they went forth with this investigation. We've got some videos down here because they went ahead and they gave some press conferences about it. Okay, so here's all the videos, something for you to watch. Bottom line of all of this is there was a police investigation that took place. An investigation, a criminal investigation, looking into this man's past using forensic investigation techniques. And what these officers determined through their investigation was quite lengthy, that the document that was presented by the White House was an absolute forgery. An absolute forgery. People could tell when they saw it. But it was confirmed when the police went through very meticulously, and as you watch these videos, you will see how meticulous they were in figuring this out. Now, people say, oh, this is not important. His term's almost over. That's true. His term is almost over. But American people still should know that they were fooled, that they were tricked. And I don't believe this man is done by any means. Okay, I think this man is wanting to continue to cause problems on the world stage. He didn't just come in, set these things in place, and then it's going to ride off into the sunset. No. Anybody watching and paying attention to what he's about understands that he's up to no good. How do you know? Because that is who he is. That's how he rolls. That is how he rolls. All right. I have a video for you to watch over the course of the weekend. This is called The Obama Deception Full HQ Full Length Version. It's 1 hour 53 minutes. This movie has been out for quite some time. Many people have seen it, come to understand the deception that has occurred with Obama. But they simply ignored it. All these years later, people are still wondering, why is Obama still seem to be favoring all of the Muslim extremists? They're not getting it because they can't figure out that he is one of them. Most of the people who are paying attention outside of the mainstream media circle understand who and what Obama's is. We understand he's a fraud. We understand that he's a Muslim. We understand that he's gay. We understand that his efforts are to destroy this country. A lot of contradictions with this man in many different ways. I don't believe he's beholden to anybody but himself, but we know that he certainly has his loyalties to Islam, to the extreme radicals that are out there, and is very much connected to the Muslim Brotherhood. So one day, I hope we finally are able to see the truth of all of this, to vindicate, all of those who have been putting this information out for so many years. And it would be a nice thing to see him scooped up and tossed into a jail cell, preferably a jail cell that's set right in the middle of a city in a big cage, so everybody could walk by and just see him in there, and get a chance to laugh at the usurper to the throne, to the fraud, to the fake, to the Antichrist. Hey, I still think he's the Antichrist, unless there's some other evidence that comes out. I've said it over and over and over. He displays so many of the qualities, because you can go and you can study about the Antichrist. You can study who he is, what the characteristics are, and you can go down the list. And he has the characteristics one after another. He's got these characteristics. Okay, I know people try to apply this to many different presidents. I certainly have in the past. I've looked at other presidents that have been very antichrist-like, and it's definitely the case. However, this particular president meets more of the qualifications than any of the other ones that are out there. And now people are saying, well, Trump meets qualifications, but I haven't seen any of these qualifications yet that he might meet. Obama seems to be the one. Not only that, but he seems to fit in with the idea of the Mahdi, who the Muslims are waiting for to help them lead the major jihad across the country, across the planet. So check out this video. Understand a little bit more of what's going on with all of that if you already don't. All right, Hillary Clinton, we're going to turn our attention to her. You may or may have not heard about all of the scandals around her. I'm sure that you have. We have a ton of them. Hillary seems at times to be almost untouchable. Except yesterday, guess what? We saw a chink in the armor. The video I showed you the other day of all of these seizures or convulsions or whatever she's having. Well, that video is getting out there. It's going viral. People are questioning what's going on with this woman's health. I have to admit, there's a moment where I do feel compassion for the woman, because I see a woman who has a mental health issue, a physical ailment, and needs to be under medical care. Instead, she's being paraded around as the president and is anything but presidential material. She's not a well person. Yesterday, there was a rally that took place in Vegas, and I'm going to play this for you here. I just want you to watch. At the very beginning, protesters come in. She looks over there. Okay, you see the look now. Watch her eyes here, and you're going to see. Look at the look there, and there we go, right there. This security guard had to step in, pat her on the back, tell her it's okay. It's okay. Okay, let me go show you that again. Here she is. See that look in her eye right there? She stepped back. Okay. Like a scared little child, she stepped back. She looks, you almost feel bad for her, because she looks like she is in a state of complete confusion for a moment there. Now, Huma Abedin had said there's often times where she seems to be confused. Here she is. This woman's going to crack one of these days. She's going to be on stage. She's going to get pressured by the questions that are coming at her. She's going to be pressured because of all the lies she keeps telling. And we're going to watch this woman crack. You watch. You keep watching her because she's already doing it. She's done it a number of times. She's got a health ailment. The health ailment isn't politically correct. Okay, it's not going to behave for her political agenda because the body does what the body does when it goes into a system, a situation where it's breaking down. She obviously has a serious physical ailment. It can be seen by the multiple times you have seen the not only the coughing fits, but the the situations with the convulsions and the seizures. She tries to laugh it off, and now this one here, she was visibly shaken and needed her security guards to come up and tell her it's going to be okay. Now, what were they holding up there? They were holding up something about animal cruelty, and right away, her response was to jump out and attack Donald Trump and his children. Donald Trump hasn't attacked her child. Why did she feel the need to attack his? Very bizarre, but that's how she is. Not a nice person. As a matter of fact, if you do some searching online, you're going to find out that in the last several weeks, there have been several deaths around Hillary Clinton. We had Seth Rich, who was a DNC staffer. He was said to have, allegedly, he's being talked about as maybe the one who provided the leaks for these emails. He ended up dead. He happened to be working with a gentleman that was 47 years old who was an aide to to Tim Kaine, the vice president candidate. And it turns out Tim Kaine's assistant, he died. So now these two guys who knew each other, both dead. Then you have a lawyer who had served papers. His name was Sean Lucas, served papers to the DNC and Debbie Wasserman Schultz. They were served. They videotaped the whole thing. All went well, and then Sean dropped dead. Found him dead in his bathroom. And then there's the UN John Ash, who dropped dead. He was going to testify against the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation, the DNC. Apparently, he was overcome by a knife that ended his life. So, very strange circumstances. If you go to the First Contact Radio page over at Facebook, you'll see a story I put up there yesterday of 37 deaths all around the Clintons. So, there's a lot of problems around these folks. They're not the people who should be in office. Not by any means. Now here, I want to play this. This was a clip from the news. I want you to hear this. This is what we already know, but it's always a good confirmation.
Doing what they call in politics freezing pockets, because the donors are giving her money thinking she's going to run. That means they're not going to have available money for other candidates if she doesn't, and I don't think she's going to give it to her.
She's on her way to deciding.
We'll see.
About deciding.
We couldn't help her any more than we have.
I know.
You know what I mean? She's got just a free ride so far from the media. We're the biggest ones promoting her campaign. We couldn't help her any more than we have.
I know.
You know what I mean? She's got just a free ride so far from the
Okay. So you just heard that, right? They couldn't help her any more than they have. The media has given her a free ride, and look at them laughing. They know they're in the tank for Hillary. These two people are laughing here, and you know what? Somehow they think that they are immune from the very problems that they're lying to the American people that they say don't exist. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Very bizarre. I have another video I'd like you to watch over the weekend. Actually, it's an audio. This is 2.5 hours. But you've heard me talk numerous times about the Illuminati, about the Council on Foreign Relations, about the media control that has taken place in this country. Well, here's a wonderful, wonderful video. Myron Fagan exposes the Illuminati / CFR. This is from 1967. And Myron goes over an amazing explanation of who the Illuminati is, how they got started, how they evolved into America, how the Council on Foreign Relations came into existence, how our media has been controlled. And then the amazing part is he starts talking about events that are going to be occurring over the course of the years after 1967. And as you listen to this and you start hearing events that have occurred the way he described them back in 1967 as they would occur, you start realizing that there's a bigger picture going on here, something a bit more than meets the eye. So that is something we should all pay attention to, because this is the key. If you don't understand the media is controlled, then you go to the media and you turn it on and you think that you're being told the truth. You saw the Federal Election Commission list of donors for Hillary. Who was on that list? Well, we had Fox News. Over here, I just played you a clip from CNN. Who did they say they were in the tank for? Hillary Clinton. Okay, so you got Fox News is for Hillary. You got CNN is for Hillary. We definitely know MSNBC is for Hillary. And we got CBS and ABC. We know that they are. So there's a mechanism of control trying to be imposed upon the people. Okay? So, very, very, very strange indeed. Strange days indeed, my friend. So let me go ahead and switch gears here. I want to give you a little bit of a pep talk. A pep talk. Okay? Please feel free, with any of the videos and the shows that I do, please feel free to download them. If you want to re-upload them, please go right ahead and do so. Subscribe, share them with your friends, whatever. Get the word out there. Okay? I'm just sharing information and helping to pass information along that I am gaining from other news sources, other alternative news sources, and I'm passing it along and sharing it with you so you can share it with others, and you're also sharing with me. So it's a nice reciprocal thing that goes on. Okay? Here's my pep talk for today. When I go to forums, and one of the forums I like to go to quite often, every day I'm over at that forum. It's called Godlike Productions. There's another forum called Above Top Secret, and many great alternative news sites. And whenever I look at the stories every day, I like to go and I like to read the comment section, because I like to see what people are saying, whether it's in a forum or whether it's an article. I like to find out what people are saying. And there's a lot of people that are really discouraged and wanting to give up. A lot of people say that, oh, that's it. The race is over. Hillary's won. But guess what? The election isn't till November. If this was a sporting event doesn't declare the winner until the event is over. A race doesn't declare a winner until it's over. So this race is far from being over. But what's going on is there is a machine of corruption that is trying to convince you. They're trying to convince everybody here in America that the person they want is the person who needs to go in, and we need to disregard all of the lies that have been told, because this other person that's out there is worse than this person. But we don't have evidence of this other person being worse. We certainly know about Clinton. But the whole Donald Trump thing, what we have are sound bites that have been played by the media. And then you have people talking about those sound bites that were put out months and months ago, which just goes to show that most people, once they get something in their mind, once the brainwashing is clicked in, they just repeat the same old lies over and over because we hear the same things. You can't give up, my friends. Some people say, oh, I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to participate because voting doesn't count. The system is rigged. You know what? You are absolutely right. The system is rigged. And it's been rigged for many, many, many years. All you got to do is step back, do a little research. You can find out the elections that have been stolen from year to year to year to year. Part of the problem and part of the reason this has occurred is because people became apathetic. People stopped participating in the process, being interested in what's going on. Basically, people gave up. So when people gave up, it allowed the powers that be who were manipulating the system to have a free ride, to do whatever they wanted to do, because nobody was going to check them on it. And so over the years, corruption has got in, more and more lies have been told, and we're at the place we are today where we can see this complete beast-like system, from the politicians to the bankers to the media to other local organizations and groups that have certain agendas like Black Lives Matter or the MoveOn.orgs and so on. It's gotten bad because we haven't participated. Now, just because we participate doesn't mean the corruption suddenly goes away. But by participating, it allows more eyeballs to be watching what's going on so that we can work to get past all of the corruption and the cheating. You see, we, the people, are the secret weapon. They and the governments, they can't stop us. They can't keep us from doing the things that need to be done because they are supposed to represent us. The only thing is the governments have gotten so big and so greedy that they have convinced the population that they are more important, and what they say rules over everybody, and most people are taking that at face value and going with it. We can make a difference by standing up. Don't give up, not one bit. And if you're sitting down, if you think you're going to get off your ass, quit being a wimp. Grow up, man up, be tougher. Because what's going on out there requires you to be tough. This is the fight of our lives, my friends. In 3 months from now, we're going to find out the course of America. Are we going to continue down this socialistic, communistic path that the liberal agenda has put forward to us? An agenda that we can see has been tried over and over in the world and has failed each and every time, and has brought civilizations to their knees each and every time, and has resulted in major deaths each and every time. That's the way we're headed if we continue and we allow the corrupt machine to put Hillary in. What we need is we need to move past that corruption that we know is there, and we need to be able to move in a direction where we're headed back towards concern about America. Donald Trump right now does have a solution that he can provide to help us with our economy. If we can get that stabilized, that's a big thing. If we can get some more respect in the world because we have a leader who is actually acting like a leader rather than like a spoiled little child, we might be more effective in the world. If we're more effective, if we're balancing our economy out, if we're bringing in more jobs, people in America will be happier. When people are happier, they'll stop arguing and fighting with each other. The tensions won't be as much. The reason we have all these problems is because the lies have grown so big and people have become so frustrated that they're just lashing out in different ways. People don't know what to do at sometimes. You saw, or I don't know if you watched any of the footage of the protesters, the Bernie Sanders supporters at the DNC. They were completely lost. They didn't know what to do. Their candidate was absolutely screwed over. He sat there in that audience after he sold them all out, completely bummed out because whatever deal he had to take or make. And all of his supporters are now uncertain about what to do. Confused because they believed in the system to some degree or another, and then having their candidate screwed over like that. Now, how anyone that was supporting Bernie Sanders could go and support Hillary is beyond me. There'll be some out there because they're not really thinking, because they want to be loyal to a party, even though the things that Bernie said were opposite of the things Hillary said. People will still go and vote for her. People will vote for her just because she's a woman. People will vote for her despite the corruption that is out there. We've got Clinton Cash. We've got the Benghazi movie, 13 Hours. You've got the movie in the theaters, Hillary's America. You got the email scandals of the DNC. You got the email scandals around her server. Okay, those are 5 things right there. There's a lot more. We start getting into various deaths of different people. We got Vince Foster and his death that occurred. We've got the Clinton Foundation. On and on and on. We can keep going about the corruptions that Hillary's involved with. So the question is, do we want to continue to have these kind of corruptions going on? Are we satisfied with American citizens being killed by pointing out the corruptions that are out in the system? Are we satisfied with American soldiers being killed overseas because our leaders decided to abandon them? Are we satisfied with all of these lies that are being told? I'm not, and I don't think you should be either. But what we need to be thinking about is not ourselves. We need to think about the generations that's coming out after us, the children, the grandchildren, because this is the world that they're going to inherit. Do you want to leave your kids a world that is a socialistic, communistic world? Is that what you want? Because if that's the case, then we should do nothing. But if we do not want that, if we do not want to see this younger generation having to grow up in a world that absolutely sucks, then we need to do something now. And we've got a 3-month period of time to do that. And there's no time at all for discouragement. There's no time at all for giving up. None whatsoever. So if you're thinking of giving up, just think that there's a lot of people out there that aren't. Don't buy into the lies of the media. Don't buy into the lies of the polls that they're trying to tell you, because they're fake polls. Stories come out about how these polls are rigged by these various different groups. Yes, they are going to try to steal the election. But just because they try to do something doesn't mean they are going to succeed. Every time there is a sports event, you've got 2 teams playing. Both teams are going to try to win that game. Both teams are going to have a plan on how they are going to do that. Doesn't mean they are both going to succeed. We, the people, just need to stand up, because there's millions and millions more of us than there's are of them. Okay? Once we, the people, understand that there's more of us than there are of them, that's the game changer right there. But right now, the people are still kind of uncertain. People don't want to step out of their comfort zones. People don't want to have their lives disrupted. Guess what? Your life is being disrupted. It's being disrupted by the lies and the corruption. So the choice is yours. Today is the choice, my friends. Today is the day to make a decision. Today is the day to decide, do you want to live in a world that continues to decline, or do we want to live in a world that is going to evolve? I know which way I want to go. I want to go into the world that's evolving, because I've been here, part of this world declining, and I've seen what's going on just like you have. And it sickens me to see the lies, to see the unnecessary murders and deaths. It sickens me to see all of these things going on. And it makes it worse when good Americans are buying into these lies each and every day. How many people are going to turn on the mainstream media and actually think that they are being told the truth today? A good portion. Even though people have been told they're being lied to, people will still turn it on and they'll still think they're being told the truth. Watch this piece right here. Listen to it. It's an audio. All about the Illuminati and the Council on Foreign Relations. You listen to this, you will have a great understanding on how the system of manipulation is in place. And know that the only thing that's going to stop this is we, the people. We are the people. We've got the power. There's more of us than there are of them. Got it? We are the people. We've got the power. There's more of us than there are of them. We just need to stand up and be brave. So be brave today, my friends. Be brave. Don't let all this nonsense that is going on discourage you. And if you feel that you are in that place of discouragement, send me an email. Send me a message. Send me something. And I will send you back something positive to help you get past that. Because I promise you, I'm not going to get discouraged. And I know there are many others that aren't going to get discouraged. Because I understand how important this battle is. This is not just about an election. This is a battle of good and evil. This is a battle of light and dark. This is a battle that if we don't succeed in this, then our children and grandchildren, the future generations, are going to really be living in a really awful place. And I certainly don't want to see that for anybody. And I'm pretty certain you don't either. But the time is getting short, my friends. The time is getting short. We don't have time to waste. So today's the day to be brave. Today is the day to decide you're not going to be discouraged. And today is the day to decide that you're going to take your country back because you recognize that we, the people, have the power. Not the government. We, the people. We just have to take action because we sat down on the sidelines for far too long. So, that's it, my friends. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. Must do something, must take action. And doing nothing is not an option at this point in time. Okay? So, moving on. Here's an article, because we're at summertime and we have people that are looking to lose weight, drop some extra pounds. It's never a bad thing to do, good for the health. So this is an article from Greg Prescott over at Body, Mind, and Soul. It says, why waste your money on an Atkins diet or Weight Watchers when you can get better results for free? Would you like a free and truly easy diet that truly works? Imagine eating great food all day and still losing weight. This has got to be the easiest and the simplest diet ever. And you don't even need to buy a book and take a special course and learn how to do it. The best part is I'm not selling anything. This is all free, so share it with your friends. Whether you plan on fitting into a bikini or a tuxedo, it only takes 3 months to lose 30 pounds. A few years ago, I jumped on the scale and I read 209 pounds. I was having sleep apnea issues from the weight gain, so I decided to lose weight, but I never tried dieting. I used myself as a guinea pig and I came up with my own diet strategy designed to lose a lot of weight in a relatively short period of time without starving myself or having to count calories. A typical diet has approximately 2,000 calories and 20 grams of saturated fat. While our bodies do need some saturated fat, it's also responsible for building fat. I've done this diet several times in the past, and both times I've lost 30 pounds in 3 months. I'm on the same diet right now, and at the halfway point, I've lost 15 without starving myself, counting calories or feeling hungry most of the time. So let's get to the point. Here is all you need to do. Keep your intake of saturated fats to 10 grams or less per day. That's it. I haven't even named this diet, so you can call it the Prescott diet, the easiest diet ever, or any name you'd like to give it. Now, there will be some concessions, but nothing major. For example, if you drink whole milk, cut back to 2%, 1%, or no fat milk. Use coconut oil instead of butter when cooking. Use applesauce instead of oil when baking, etc. Coconut oil is a saturated fat, but it's a medium chain saturated fat versus the long chain, such as those found in meat. This means it actually helps you to burn fat while boosting your metabolism. Medium chain saturated fats are also antiviral and antimicrobial. You can add a tablespoon of coconut oil to a cup of hot chocolate or a cup of coffee or tea 2 times a day, and it will help to expedite the weight loss. When using coconut oil, do not count the saturated fats in your daily total, because as I mentioned, this is a beneficial medium chain saturated fat that helps you to lose weight. You can also substitute coconut oils for canola, corn, or any other oil for light cooking. For example, you can put a tablespoon of coconut oil in a fry pan and cook breaded chicken breast for nearly 0 fat dinner. I prefer the Carrington Farms coconut oil 54 ounce and buy it 3 to 4 54-ounce containers at a time. I not only use it for cooking, but for oil pooling, teeth whitening, and suntan oil. Okay, so you can go down here, some nice good examples of eating programs, how to go and do it. Some examples, encourage yourself, take a picture before, and then after a while, you take a picture again. When you feel hungry, wait an hour longer to eat. In the meanwhile, your body is burning fat. Weigh in each morning, keep a journal. Use coconut or avocado oil. Drink lots of water. Buy or grow organic food. Try to eliminate GMOs and processed food. Try to avoid as much processed sugars and grains. Exercise. Set realistic goals. Don't eat when society tells you to do so. Don't eat anything after dinner. Never eat before you go to bed. Okay. And then various ways about tracking. All right, we get to the end, and there you go. So this article you might find this to be helpful to whatever goals you might have, because we all seem to be going through the ups and downs of the weight issues in life. It seems to be a constant thing for everybody. I don't know anybody who's immune, because everybody eats and everybody gains weight and everybody loses weight, and everybody wants to somehow or another regulate that at one time or another. So that might be very helpful to you. All right, here is a channeled message today. This is called "You Are Divine Beings" from the Pleiadian High Council of Seven.
Divine Beings, the Pleiadian High Council of Seven, channeled by Daniel Scranton. We are the Pleiadian High Council of Seven, and we are pleased to offer you our words of wisdom. As soon as you recognize your divinity, you begin to see the divine in every other being. You recognize that each being that you encounter is not only an aspect of Source, but he or she is also an aspect of you, as Source. There is no greater realization than this. There is no greater knowledge than this. There is nothing more that is necessary once you recognize this. You do not see yourself as a separate, ego entity when you make this recognition. And therefore, surrender is much easier. We know that surrender is a trigger word for many of you, but what we are suggesting that you surrender to is your divine nature and the order of all things in the universe. So when you accept that things are how they are because they benefit you and all other beings the most, surrender is no longer a dirty word. It no longer implies giving up. And then you can relax. Then you can let go of needing anything to be different than what it is. You can let every other being exist exactly as they are, and you can accept and love yourself in the now moment. There's nothing more that you need to become in order to surrender to this realization. It is a simple matter of awareness. What awareness are you holding of yourself? How do you see yourself in relationship to the universe? When you are embodying your divine self and allowing all others to be their divine selves, you can begin to create as a whole being with other whole beings, none of whom are in competition with one another. All that is will return to its natural state of being, which is unconditional love. And each of us who are its components will either go willingly, or kicking and screaming. We all get to decide, and the sooner we accept our divinity and the divinity of all others, the shorter the trip home. We are the Pleiadian High Council of Seven, and we are very fond of all of you.
Okay, that's a very, very important message there. We have to accept the divinity that we are. Now, how do we know that we're divine? Because God flows through us. The Spirit emanates through us. Everything we talk about is an emanation from that divine source. We can't help but be anything but divine because the energy that flows through us is of divine source. So once we tap into that, once we connect with that divine spirit that flows through us and we understand that we are an aspect of it, it makes all the difference. That helps us to move through life because we know that there is something bigger than who and what we are. When we get caught up in the little selves and this little reality, that this physical being, that I am, that you are, that we are, is all that is, then we feel trapped at times because we don't see that there's a way past the problems we have, because we're stuck. We only see here, like blinders on. When we take the blinders off and we understand our deeper connection to the source of all life, we suddenly have a bit more reverence for who we are, the process of life, and who everybody else is here participating in this. Doesn't mean we're going to like everything everyone's doing, because there are beings here who aren't necessarily acknowledging the goodness of who they are, but are perfectly intent on creating problems in this reality. So we need to be aware of that, but the only way we do so is if we tap in first to our own strength, which is the divinity, the source of God that flows through us. All right, let's do our meditation for today. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and exhale. Take another deep breath and exhale again. And another deep breath and exhale. Now, let's just imagine ourselves looking in a mirror. And we look in the mirror and we see a reflection shining back at us. We know this reflection because it's the physical body that we are, the physical appearance that we have taken on for this lifetime. And we look at this physical appearance and we see who we are in this world, in this reality. And we look closer, we look into our eyes, we look deeper, and we see that past the physical there is something else, something that is much more expansive, limitless. And we realize that the part of divinity that flows through us is simply living within a very small space of this human body. But that when we look to the source, this connection to the spirit that flows through us, we understand the limitlessness. So we continue to look deeper at this limitlessness, and we see that all around us are possibilities, opportunities beyond anything we could imagine in the physical reality. We understand that in order to bring into manifestation anything in life, we first start with the highest aspect of thought and allow that thought to become charged with emotions and then expressed into the world as sound, which then manifests in the reality as that which we have intended it to be. So let's just imagine ourselves understanding the process of manifestation and creation. Let us understand this higher power that flows through us. And let's just imagine sending out and sharing this with everyone that we meet. Sharing this light and love and blessings. Heavenly Father and Mother, we thank you this day, this moment, for all of the blessings and opportunities in our lives. We look to the past of all that we have done, and we appreciate the opportunities that we have had. We look forward to the future and the opportunities that lie before us, and we are grateful this moment here in the present. We're able to look back at the past and understand how we want to move forward towards the future. We thank you, Mother and Father, for loving us, for blessing us, and helping us to understand the ways of this reality and our connections to you, to all that is. So now let the subconscious mind continue on its journey. Let's just imagine sending out love to all that we meet, sending positive vibes to everyone that we see. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. Alright, my friends, that is it for today, for the week. I've got plenty of links available for you to go check out at firstcontactradio.com. Watch the videos I put up there for you today. You've got the Obama deception, you've got the Illuminati, you've got videos I put up over the course of this week. Just remember, we are all in this together. Okay? Nobody is out doing this by themselves. We are here together. We can make the changes in the world, but there is a battle going on between good and evil, between light and dark, There are forces out there that are attempting to manipulate humanity. But God can't be manipulated. Only the human mind can be. So when we allow ourselves to tap into that divinity within ourselves, we tap into the ultimate protection to keep us from being manipulated. That is why that the sources of manipulation do not want us to tap into that source, because they know that once we do, there's nothing they can do against us. So we need to tap into the source, my friends, of who we are and what we're about, what connects us, because that source of divinity, that source of God that emanates through all of us, that's for us to use so that we can grow this world in the way it needs to be and move past all the darkness and evil and everything. It's up to us, my friends. It's up to us. That's why we're here. We wouldn't be here if God didn't need us to be here to do what we're doing. If this was something God just wanted to do on his own, we wouldn't be here. But we're here because this is our opportunity to stand up, to become better, to evolve. So let's evolve. Let's not be afraid, but let's be strong and brave. And let's go out and stand up against all of the lies, the distortions, the disruptions, the negativities, the darkness. Stand up against it, my friends. Stand up against it with the love and with the spirit that is in your heart and that flows through you. And I promise you, nothing will be able to stop us when we do. We are the people. We've got the power, and that power is the spirit that flows through us. That's it. That's it. It's that simple. It's not a complicated formula. We just need to let the spirit flow so that we can go and grow. All right? A lot to think about, my friends. Please share this show with others. And subscribe to the station. Check out the Facebook page. I'll keep posting things up there over the weekend, stories and what have you. There's tremendous amount of links on First Contact Radio where you can go and just follow some of these sources of information and so on. So, all right. So I'm going to mosey on now. But thank you for being here. I love you. Keep loving each other. And I will talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.